Shalom everyone, it's Kol Torah, it's Tuesday at noon, and I'm happy to host again a Kol Torah here about Parashat Beshalach. This is our parasha for this Shabbat. At the beginning of this parasha, we have something very interesting that I would like to discuss with you today, and this is the following verse. When the Torah describes Exodus, when the Torah describes the real event, when the Jewish people are leaving Egypt, the Torah says, "V'chamushim alu bnei Israel me'eretz Mitzrayim." What does it mean, v'chamushim? So, there are many interpretations to the word chamush, and I would like to focus on one of them. One of the interpretations is v'chamushim, meaning that they went armed, they had weapons with them. They took weapons with them, leaving Egypt. And by the way, it's obviously demonstrate and illustrate the fact that they felt that they are really free. They were not like thieves running away from Egypt in the middle of the night. They left in the middle of the day with weapons in their arms, and they were armed. They were almost like an army. So on one hand, it gives us the feeling that, you know, the Israelites were ready to fight. They were ready for independence. They were ready to overcome every struggle. But the problem is that when you read the beginning of the parasha, it seems to be that there is a little bit of a problem. It says that Hashem had to take them through a different pathway, not to go through the land of Plishtim, because he was afraid that they will encounter a war, a battlefield, and they will run away to Egypt. So I just don't understand exactly what's going on here. At the beginning, it says that the Jewish people went with weapons, and it seems to be that they are strong and mighty. On the other hand, Hashem is so concerned that they are going to be so afraid from seeing a battlefield, and they will run back to Egypt. So how can we reconcile it? Let's digress for a second. Immediately after this description, that the Jewish people went armed with weapons out from Egypt, the Torah also gives us a small detail that says that the Jewish people took with them Joseph's bones. Because if you remember Joseph at the end of the book of Genesis, at the end of Sefer Bereshit, he basically made his brothers to take an oath to promise him that they're going to carry his bones to the land of Israel. So the Torah had to say immediately here that the Jewish people did it. Why to mention it right here? What's the connection between the fear that Hashem had that the Jewish people will see a battlefield and they will run back to Egypt, to the fact that they went armed, that they had weapons with them, and to the fact that they took Joseph's bones? I would like to suggest the following idea. When you think about Joseph, Joseph was the first Hebrew slave. He was enslaved by Potiphar, by the master who bought him. And after that, he was a slave in the prison. Only after that, he rose and he became second in command. But it's interesting to know that every stage of his life, as difficult and as uncertain it was, he had full faith in God. Everything that he had to go through, he knew that Hashem is going to guide him. The way he named his children is involving Hashem. The way he talks to Pharaoh involves Hashem. The way he talks to his master's wife that tried to seduce him, he obviously mentioned the name of Hashem. He knows that Hashem is guiding him. And therefore it helps him not to be so concerned and not to be so afraid. Even though he did not have any weapons with him, he had no stick, he had nothing. He was just a slave, a foreigner, a stranger, just a teenage boy who was sold to Egypt. Take a look at the Jewish people. They just viewed 10 plagues, miracles. They just saw how Hashem is helping them. They have weapons with them, but they are still afraid. Why are they afraid? They are afraid because A, they have still a mentality of slaves, but more than that, they just don't have faith yet. Faith is not something that you just get, you receive. It's not a gift. It's something that you possess. It's something that you work hard so you can have your weapons with you and you can feel strong and mighty and you can still be afraid. And you can have nothing. You can be a foreigner, a stranger, just a teenager who is being sold to Egypt, and you will not be afraid. Don't get me wrong. You need weapons. You need military. But you also need faith in God. When I was in the army, the big statement was, it's not the tank that it's going to win. It's the spirit of man in the tank that is going to win. Thank you.